Hello. I hope all is well. I am, admittedly, I am a little under the weather today. I am in my late luteal phase, so I'm feeling drained anyway. And I got a flu shot yesterday, and so my body's just, ugh. My whoop is like, "You're sick. Don't do anything." And of course, I had training this morning. There were shuttle sprints, but that's life, right? And not every day is going to be perfect, and we just put our best foot forward. So, if I seem a little lackluster, that's why. But I wanted to welcome you to another week of Hygeia Fitness and wanted to talk a little bit today about goals and plans for goals. We talked last week about perfectionist fantasies and perfectionism. And I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the things that separates those two out from each other, and that is the way we go about planning them. Okay. So if we look at perfectionist fantasies, what we see are the fun plans, right? This is like when you plan the Disney vacation, like you're probably not going to take, right? Or that trip to Iceland that you're probably not going to take, where you get to think about all of the fun things. You're buying the new shoes, you're buying the new clothes, you're putting together your playlists, like all of this fun stuff. It's dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. You're feeling good. Goals are different. I hate to be the one to tell you that like planning for goals is not fun, but it is not. It's not. But it's effective. Okay. And it gets you to where you want to go. So you have the perfectionist fantasy where you're planning all the fun stuff, you're getting all those dopamine hits. And honestly, it's the easy stuff, right? Buying new shoes, not actually hard. Buying fun workout clothes, not actually hard. I would know. It's like a hobby. Um, like putting together a playlist, not hard. It's just super fun, right? Talking to people about your plans, super fun. Planning for a goal is hard. It is the hard stuff, okay? And we're going to kind of simplify it here, and we're going to talk about the who, what, where, why, and when. And these are things that I would strongly recommend you sit down and really think about. Write these things out. Write out questions. Write out all of these things that you have to do. And that is going to help you plan for the goal. Now, the first part of the plan, like that's coming from me, right? You came to me because you want to get healthier, you want to create sustainable fitness in your life, you want to create habits that you are going to carry with you through your life that are going to keep you strong, to keep you young, and are going to give you longevity and a high quality of life, so you're not being spoon fed in a nursing home. Okay, just going to put it out there. I know the visual is awful, but it's the truth. And I try to be as real and as truthful as possible. Okay. So that's why you came to me. And I'm the one who has that plan, right? I've given you mindset work so you can overcome some of the mental obstacles that have thrown you off track in the past. I have created accountability. You have weekly check-ins. You've got two weekly check-ins where you're telling me what your goals are, where you're reflecting on those goals. You have the Whoop check-in where we get to start keeping an eye on your vitals, and you're starting to learn how to use that to track your actual health instead of obsessing over how much you weigh or how much body fat you have. And you have your monthly check-ins where I'm looking at different statistics that we're getting from Whoop that's telling me what is your heart health, right? And how are you sleeping? And how are you recovering? Is your body getting better? And hopefully it is. And if it's not, that's when we have to be like, okay, what might be causing this? So you have mindset, you have accountability, you have a beautiful resistance training program, right? That I put a lot of thought and a lot of work into getting you from not having worked out, to being ready to walk into a gym and do a loaded back squat, right? I've done that part for you. I've done the part that you need credentials for. I've done the part that you need education for. You don't have to worry about that. I did that for you. happy to do so. Okay. But now you have to figure out how you're going to use that plan. What is your plan for using the plan? I know it's getting meta. So let's talk about the who, what, where, why, and when of using the fitness plan. Okay? Like I said, I want you to sit with these questions and I want you to write things down and I want you to start creating a to-do list. Okay? Here we go. Who? Who is this new lifestyle going to affect? Okay, this is an important question, especially going forward. All of these are going to become more important as we go forward because your fitness is going to start taking a more and more um not dominant but a more immersive um aspect in your life. Okay, right now you're just kind of picking and choosing what can you do, it's super easy. But being real again, right? The 5 minutes of air squats one time a week is not going to get you where you want to go. So we're eventually going to be moving into more consistent practices. Okay. And that's why you need to be thinking about who is this going to affect? Maybe right now it doesn't really affect anybody, so no one's complaining about it. No one's causing a problem. No one has an attitude about it. But thinking down the line, if you were to say, I want to do resistance training 5 days a week at 6 p.m., whatever time of day, doesn't matter. Who would that affect? Okay, partner, kids, friends? Who does it affect? Other family members? Like, who do you engage with that this would affect? And think about the different aspects of that, right? Finances. You're paying for this. You've made an investment. You've signed a contract. So hopefully you had the finances discussion already. Otherwise, good luck. Let me know how that goes. Um, if you're paying for this yourself and it doesn't affect anybody, great. Doesn't affect anybody, right? Fantastic. Hopefully it affects you and it's only for the positive. Okay. But finances, time, support. This is a great one. When I started in fitness, I had small kids. I had two babies. And I relied on my then husband to help by caring for the children while I went to the gym. And he did. Can't fault him there. He did most of the time. Was he always sunshine and rainbows about it? No, but don't care. Um, so that's another thing. Like, are you going to need support in any way in order to carry this out? Talk to those people. Tell them that you need their help. Ask them for their help. Have a conversation about why you're doing what you're doing. Ask them to be part of your team. You cannot control their response to that, but it is a good idea to at least ask them to be on the team, invite them to be on the team, and tell them what it's going to entail. Tell them it's going to be X dollars a month. It's going to take 3 hours a week at this time. You know, have very frank, open, and honest conversations, even with children. Obviously, it's going to sound different, right? But saying, I know you want snuggles, or I know you want me to take you to your friend's house, or whatever it is, whatever age you're dealing with. But this hour, this is for me so I can stay healthy and I can play with you and I can be there for you. And they might not completely understand, but my experience with children has been that they really do, in general, when they get older and they can reason, they really do want their parents to be happy, to be healthy. And if you can just put it in perspective for them, a lot of times they'll be on board and they'll just be like, well, that's mom's time. Help them figure out another activity they can do while you do your workout. It's planning. That's what planning really feels like. That is sitting down, really thinking through problems that may come up and really thinking about who you need to talk to help solve some of those problems so you can do what you need to do. So that's the who. What? What in your life is going to be affected? Is it going to be, you know, girls' night? Is it going to be date night? Is it going to be your pottery class? Like, just whatever it is that you do, think about things that might be impacted. A great example for me is, and this isn't going to happen for you for quite some time, but my workouts are so hard early in the morning. I usually start training at about 6 a.m., right? Which means I'm up by like 5, right? I don't have a lot of energy at night either. I have to go to bed. And there have had to be some shifts in my social life in order to make that happen. Okay. I've had to have conversations with my kids. Like, I can't sit down and watch TV with you guys on Wednesday or Thursday night or Friday night. Even now, I have a 7 a.m. practice on Saturdays. I'm like, I'm training for this. This is a goal. My kids are older, so it's easier. But I can watch something with you on Saturday night, right? And figuring out, well, I need to be upstairs in bed at 8. We can do these things before that. So that's an example of what is going to be affected, because it's not always just that hour block of time or whatever time you've chosen, right? Because that's where we are in the program. It's not just that block of time that's going to be affected. If you're doing it early in the morning, that's probably going to affect your evening as well. Another thing to keep in mind is things that you're currently engaged in and enjoying may have to take a back seat for a little bit, or you may have to mess with the puzzle pieces and get that to fit in somewhere different, um, while you take care of fitness, right? Fitness, hopefully, if you've invested in this program, I'm hoping that you've made fitness a priority. So other things will probably get shifted around. What are those things? Is there another type of class that you're taking that maybe you've got to put on hold for a few months while you focus on this, or you need to do a morning class instead of an evening class? So what is going to be affected, and how do you handle that? Where? Where are you going to work out? Okay, if you've opted for the gym version of this, hopefully you've taken some time to find a gym you're comfortable in. Not all gyms are the same. They all have their own characteristics. They all have their own feel. They all have their own kind of community. And if you opted for a gym, I hope it's one that you're comfortable in. If it's one that you hate, we may want to rethink where you're working out. And you may want to start at home. Or you can do gym dating and, contact me and I'll help you with that. Tell you how it's done. Okay. So, where? If you're at home, you should have a dedicated workout area, not the middle of your living room where you throw your equipment in a box. A lot of times, what happens there, especially if you have children, is that space is a complete mess and you have to clean it up before you work out. And by the time you're done cleaning that area, you don't want to work out. And it's messy and it feels cluttered and it's not inviting. For the next 6 months until we move you into a gym, have a dedicated workout space. Make it comfortable, make it inviting, keep it orderly and clean. And I know if you're a mom and you've got a bunch of little kids, you're like, how do I do that? That's planning. That is the not fun part of planning. Okay. I told you, this is much more than buying cute shoes. Plan for that. Talk to your partner, figure it out. Okay. But I promise you, you are more likely to stick with the program if you like the space you're working out in. Why? This is the one. This is goals. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you waking up at 5 a.m. or staying up late? Why are you sacrificing all of these other things that we just talked about? You have to know. And you're lucky here. I'm walking you through this, but I do invite you, just take some time. Go take a walk. Ponder it. Why are you doing this? Okay. And can you express that to other people? Can you articulate your why to everybody else that it's going to affect? Can you explain to them why certain things are being affected, why you're not going to class, why you're missing girls' night? Why? Be able to articulate that and anticipate who might ask you that. Who might you have to have that conversation with? And when? And this is the big one. When are you going to do the program? Because it is an intensive program. Not only do you have the workout, you also have the mindset. You also have videos to watch. You have check-ins. I know that it's intensive. And I did that on purpose. And I was picky about the clients I brought on. And that's why I asked you so many questions. Are you willing to put in an hour and a half, a day? Can you do that? It depends. It depended on the conversation we have, but sometimes that's it. I spend most of my days chasing my fitness goals. Now, does everybody need to do that? Absolutely not. Everyone's not looking to compete, right? A lot of people just want health and longevity. But the point is, for the next 6 months, this program is going to be a huge part of your life. And you have to know when you're going to do it, and you have to protect that time. And we're going to get into boundaries. That's next month, and that will help you do that. But start thinking about it. When is the best time? Is it in the morning? Is it at night? Is it in the middle of the day when the kids are taking a nap or the kids are in school? When is that best time? Does it vary? Are your Mondays different from your Thursdays? Is there a better time on, is the time different on Thursday than it is on Wednesday? Write that schedule out. Really think through it. Talk to people, right? Talk to that support system, the who that we talked about. Be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe your partner's like, oh, hey, don't forget that you usually, um, I don't know, go grocery shopping at that time on that day. And then that starts another conversation, right? Well, could you go grocery shopping? Or maybe you just change the day you go grocery shopping. Or the whole idea is that as you're going through who, what, where, why, and when, all of these potential obstacles start coming up and you're ready. You got it. So that is making a plan for a goal. That's it. It is the nitty gritty. It is the stuff your brain doesn't want to think about. It's the stuff where you try and sit down and figure it out. Your brain tells you, I don't know. And it is lying to you. It just doesn't want to think about change. Okay, but the whole reason you came to me was because that's exactly what you want. So please sit down with those questions. Maybe watch this video again. Sit down with those questions, really think about them, write them out. Maybe you visit this again. Maybe you do this 2 or 3 times and really, really write out the plan. If you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what I'm here for. It's what I love to do. Okay, go get it this week. Bye.